All right, so what's going on, everybody? So I wanted to talk quickly about Iran because there has been a lot of news, a lot of disturbances. If you haven't heard, this whole situation with the protests, a lot of the killings, it's getting, in some sense, out of hand. It's already been crazy, but I wanted to show you guys a couple of quick videos. We'll go over some Q posts, as well as just some thoughts as we move forward from here because, again, everybody in the world understands the stakes of what Trump, what the White Hats, these guys are doing, because post-Venezuela, it's much more, in some sense, believable when Trump is saying certain things such that he will take action. And so this is what is causing a lot of stir, a lot of strife, especially as people rise up. So we'll make some of those connections and we'll talk about that here in a second. So first, let me show you guys a quick video. From this guy, Dylan Page. He does a lot of just normie type news on what's going on. So he does a pretty good job here of kind of summarizing some of the events and some footage behind the scenes.
Is Iran next? The country's 92 million people are heading into their 6th day of an internet blackout. Their currency has collapsed to zero against the dollar. International calls and even electricity has been shut down in certain areas. Protests have spread to over 100 cities and all 31 provinces in the country. But as the crowds grow, so too does the loss of life. Footage, which we can't show on here, shows body bags lining the streets outside morgues in Tehran. At the low end, estimates say 650 have been killed so far. At the high end, some estimates are into the thousands. But this seems to have only angered people more because in a stunning show of dissent at a funeral for those killed, where usually the ceremony would include chants of "There is no God but Allah," instead they were replaced with chants "Death to Khamenei," the country's supreme leader. So, is Iran next? Well, yesterday, the regime responded with an emphatic no. They decided to fight back and organize huge pro-government rallies attempting to show the world they still have support. And keep in mind, the current regime has been in power for over 3 decades, and they have faced even bigger protests in the past, but every single time they have weathered the storm. But one could argue the main difference now is they've never faced the Great Orange Storm. Trump has threatened military strikes. He's announced 25% tariffs on any country doing business with Iran. And he did just snatch a country's leader out of his bed in the middle of the night. So we are in unprecedented times. But Iran is very different. They've literally said they are prepared for war if that's what it comes to, and the US intervenes. But it's also not just the US. Protests have erupted in countries around the world in solidarity with the people of Iran.
So as you can see, from a surface level perspective, there's a lot of discussion on religion, there's a lot of discussion on persecution of the regime and just political, even left, right, all that stuff. And people are taking to the streets to take off, their hijabs, a lot of the female, a lot of the extreme Sharia law, as well as just protesting against regime, dictatorship, all that stuff. So a lot of that conversation is out there, and it's meaningful. It's good to discuss, especially with regards to perspective in terms of defending a nation or a group of leaders, because you think this is what the majority of the population is fighting for, not knowing that you have to do some research to understand some of the sides and some of the history behind it. And so some of that stuff is there. So I'm not going to touch on that. But what I do want to touch on briefly is that Iran has been in the Q post. It has been in sort of the conspiracy type area for a long time. So I want to talk a little bit about some of these posts. First, let's take a look at some of the truth posts that Trump has put up. So Trump, as you guys know, is taking a hard stance right now on some of the persecution. So first of all, in a recent post, he mentioned that effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran, and notice how he says the whole name of the country, especially in relation to the religion, will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. This order is final and conclusive. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then in another separate post, recently, this is earlier today, Iranian patriots keep protesting. Take over your institutions. Save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I have canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. MIGA. And again, that's instead of America, it's Iran. Make Iran great again. So President Trump. So here we go. So here, his language seems very similar to some of the 2018 drops that we see, or even just around that time in his first term, where he's talking about watching Iran being able to stand up. So post 1943, it says, watch Iran, something incredible is about to happen. And again, this is the past president Hussein Rouhani. The good people of Iran have the power, fight for your freedom. And in a similar post, 1558, free Iran, fight, 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 regime change. People have the power, we stand with you. And then a third one, there's many of these posts. We stand with the good people of Iran who are currently battling their installed regime for freedom. True rule, the people have the power. Rise up and demand they be removed. At some point, military generals will act with the will of the people simply because their soldiers are the same people and have no choice. We stand with you. We are monitoring the situation closely. So here, a lot of posts about freedom, about the people standing up, and some of the current old school guard power being taken down. And so it begs the question, what's going on? What's the connection? Because in the Q post, it's mentioned, Iran is mentioned at least 94 times, if I counted correctly. And I want to mention a couple of interesting posts regarding some of the conspiracy-esque stuff going on behind the scenes. So look at this from a post from an Anan and how Q responds here. They are freaking out because someone in Iran has threatened to name names of politicians in the West who took bribes to get the deal done. And by deal, it's referring to the Iranian deal, the nuclear deal. So I'll read another post here in a second about that. But news began to leak, is what Q says. Not new to announce, old. Future proves past, eyes on. Define the terms of the Iranian nuclear deal. Does the agreement define and confine cease and desist pro to the Republic of Iran? What if Iran created a classified satellite nuclear facility in northern Syria? What if the program never ceased? What other bad actors are possibly involved? Did the U.S. know? Where did the cash payments go? How many planes delivered? Did all planes land in the same location? Where did the uranium-1 material end up? Is this material traceable? Yes, define cover. Again, remember that the U.S. went in, bombed a bunch of these nuclear sites, and this is earlier in the year, guys. This is straight up to dismantle and to make a statement with regards to what's going on. So I won't read the rest of the post here, but now the other post I want to quickly mention is 1753. Look at the last couple of lines here. Layers, uranium-1, Iran, human traffic, Haiti, corruption. So again, these are proxy sites that are being used for some deep state syndicate work. There's deals being made among the dark horse guys, these guys that are trying to use this to funnel money to do criminal illegal activity. Now this is another interesting post. 1320 says, today evil law, and this is from 2018, evil lost control, leverage of Iran. Today POTUS took control of Iran. Today POTUS took control of Iran. Today, with pending sanctions and military actions, POTUS will gain more ammunition/intel against them. Suicide watch. The deal kept Iran quiet. The goal was to keep POTUS in until impeachment/term end. Bigger than people can imagine. Treason is 1/10. Ask yourself, why are they panicking? Ask yourself, why is U.S., France, and Germany so involved? Trips to the White House? What are they hiding? Why is HRC, meaning Hillary Clinton, in New Zealand? Is New Zealand part of Five Eyes? Why is this relevant? Suicide watch. Again, a lot of the connections between some of these countries, it's not what you think. And again, I'm not saying I know exactly what's happening and what's going on, but some of these posts indicate to us, if you do some research, that there's something very nefarious with the role of Iran, some of the nuclear stuff, and it being used as a power play, a control proxy to the rest of the world, especially in terms of maintaining and keeping power. Because again, they never thought they were going to lose in 2016. POTUS came, the white hats came, and then now we're seeing all the things that are unfolding, dismantling some of that deep state proxy and the syndicate, the networking of all this stuff. So again, watch out, guys, to see what's going to happen, because Trump is saying a lot of stuff. People are rising up. The whole dynamic power shift, all this is happening in real time. I also want to take this quick moment to let you guys know that I'm going to have a new website coming up very soon. But until then, I still have my givesendgo.com/chrisyoonyt link. I refreshed it. It's 2026. I've updated some of the briefing here with regards to the mission I have here in Korea, as well as with the stuff I'm doing in business and online. So I wanted to ask you guys again for your continued support. The link and the information is down below. Alternatively, if you guys want to support me through PayPal, Zelle, or Venmo, I also have those down below. I'm going to try to make a monthly goal. We'll see how it goes. Currently, it's $7,777. So that goal will help support me, my team, just all the stuff going on in the back end, as well as for some of the investment into the business and many other things. So if you guys want to support me, I also have legal stuff. You guys know the ongoing lawsuit and all that to fight and make sure that the wrongful termination, religious persecution, we can fight for some of these things. If you guys want to support me, the link, the information is down below if you guys want to check it out. So love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.